In last week's video, I spoke with Basha about pricing your handmade jewelry. And today I'm going to talk about how it doesn't matter what price you put on your jewelry. If you don't do this one thing, it isn't going to sell. But first of all, I really need some tea. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Megan. I run my own handmade jewelry business, and my aim with this YouTube channel is to help other fellow jewelry designers grow and scale their businesses as well, without feeling overwhelmed and underpaid. This morning I got another order on my online store, but I wanted to actually just show you the back end on Shopify and speak to you a little bit more about this in detail, because it's really not about the prices. There's lots of other things you need to consider. So let's look at it. So this morning, 23rd of November at 11:53, I had an order for 2 items, so 2 pairs of earrings, which came to a total of 115 euros 22. But this is all interesting, but what I really want to focus on is this over here. So this is the first order that this customer has placed. It's the first session. The first session was direct to the store, but this is the really interesting bit here. 7 sessions over 17 days. So you see how I've been saying in so many videos that people need to see you at least 7 times before they buy from you. So why this is so interesting is because during those 7 interactions, they have gotten to know, like, and trust me. I have not ever spoken to this person before. I don't know who they are, the new customer based in Germany. And obviously through the content that I've been putting out there, be that through my email marketing. So I have a whole welcome series that basically warms them up to the brand, tells them a bit about me, tells them about the brand, shows them some social proof. All of that stuff goes a long way to help build that trust factor. Because if they just see your stuff online and you're a random person, they've never met you before, especially if your jewelry is relatively high priced, like I feel mine is, you know, it's not the cheapest out there. It's handmade from good materials, recycled, ethical, all of that stuff, and I put a lot of care into making all of my products. Someone isn't going to spontaneously see it and buy from you if they don't know who you are, they don't know if they can trust you, and they don't know if they like you. All of this is through different platforms. 1, through the email marketing sequence. 2, through Instagram. 3, through other external mentions. So I've recently had some posts in a really lovely magazine, another online magazine as well, shout out LA, and a local magazine, Speculoos. And they might have seen me in any of these different places. So I don't know where they saw me, but through their 7 different interactions, had led them directly back to my website. So especially through the email marketing, there are links back to my website. So they'll read an email, think, this is interesting, maybe let me have another look. But they've been on my website 7 times, had a look around. So over the course of 17 days, they got to know, like, and trust me. And that's what's so important, because when people buy into a brand, they're not just buying the product. In fact, this morning, I just had a talk with one of my clients about her feeling a little bit lost with her pricing and lacking the confidence to do the market that she's about to do. So we had a whole chat about how much it is you that the person buys into. So you and your personality, you and your brand, and all of that, and your USP. So what makes your brand stand out amongst others? Knowing all of this and having it clear so that not only you know it in your head, but customers who you've never spoken to can get that as well and get that nice and clear. So they want to know, yes, I feel connected to this brand. I am excited about it. It makes me feel a certain way that I connect to. So that's where your values of your business come into play, and having them really clear throughout everything, so imbued into everything that you do. It's a really nice way to help people get to know, like, and trust you. So these are really, really important factors, and not just the pricing. Because in the end, there's things for sale, for example, handbags that you can buy for £5, $5, or $5,000. And there's a customer for each of those. So your pricing really doesn't matter, especially if you have a brand that's built around the price point that your jewelry is. Say, for example, you have a luxury jewelry brand, you're obviously going to need to create a whole experience that is reflective of those prices of a luxury brand. So during those 7 times that the person is seeing your stuff, they are going to be like, yes, I feel this is worth it. I'm really enjoying the vibe that this is. I really want to buy into this brand, and what I'm paying for the jewelry is totally worth it because I can see it's good quality, handcrafted, amazing pieces, and I'm really excited about having this. And the value that the person who's selling the jewelry is putting on it is then reflected in the way and the amount that person appreciates that. Obviously, your prices need to reflect the materials that you're using, your time, all of that stuff, all mentioned in the other video. Look at art, for example. You can go to a little craft shop around the corner, buy some lovely little prints for a couple of dollars, or you can spend millions on really expensive art that is for sale in a gallery. And if you put them side by side, if you didn't know and you turn them both into a print and you didn't know who the artist was for each of them, I think you'd have a hard time sometimes to identify which one was most expensive. But it's the experience, it's the value, it's the whole brand behind it and the artist themselves. Once again, it's that know, like, trust. So the bigger the artist's name, the bigger price they can put on it. So same with you. Over the years, as you develop your confidence and you get rid of that niggly imposter syndrome, you can slowly increase those prices until you feel really comfortable with it. In my coaching business, much like my jewelry business, I wouldn't expect somebody to buy from me the first time they ever saw any content from me because they haven't got an idea of who I am, they don't know if they like me, they don't know if they trust that I'm going to do a good job. So in that way, it makes total sense. So most of the people who have bought the course from me, my Consistent Sales Academy course, they have either watched loads of my YouTube videos, gotten to feel that they can trust that the content that I'm delivering is valuable and help them so far already. That's even just the free content. Or they've been on Instagram and been educating themselves with all of the content that I put on there. And they have been seeing me out and about in different places. They can see my jewelry business and they can trust that I know what I'm doing through all of the content that I'm putting out there. And of course, with jewelry as well, word of mouth is a great way to spread that. And because if somebody is saying, oh wow, I had this really great experience with so-and-so, their brand is amazing, and they can see they're wearing their earrings, or they've, done the course, for example, then that is unbelievably helpful to kind of help build that trust. Because, if you think of it, for example, you're going to go to a new hairdresser, you don't want to just go and pick any random hairdresser because you don't know what's going to happen. So you want to ask around for recommendations. Same with the dentist, so many different things. So why should it be any different with your jewelry? So that word of mouth goes a long way to help build that know, like, trust factor. So don't underestimate that, and don't feel bad about your first customers for your jewelry being your friends and family, because in the end, all you need is 1,000 true fans to be able to help you grow the empire of your dreams. So for those of you who have gotten to know, like, and trust me through all of the free content I put out there, I actually have a sale running for the next 24 hours, part of Black Friday weekend, of my Consistent Sales Academy course. So I thought in this video, I'll actually just show you what it looks like inside the course. So again, adding to that know, like, trust factor so that you can actually see what you would be getting and what you're paying towards when you invest in yourself for this course. So over here, this is your dashboard that you would get for the course, and you have all of these videos which range from, let's say, 2 minutes up to, the longest one I think is an hour-long video with all of these different topics. So I'm just going to kind of keep scrolling through all of these. So there are 12 modules that you'll get. So each week you'll get a new module, and then you have inside each of these you'll get a template to Notion where I organize everything. For example, some of the modules are really big and it takes longer than a week to work through, but the thing is that you have this at your hand to go through yourself. So let me just show you inside one of the modules. Inside each of these, for example, you have here a video that it basically has me screen sharing whatever content I'm talking about, and then I'm explaining in detail, step by step, what to do. So for each of these lessons, keep going here, you have got all kinds of information. and you can see me actually showing you like what to do, how to do it, guiding you through step by step, showing examples, explaining everything, and putting things into practice right there and then in the course, so that you're not sitting there in a course taking in all this information, but you're not being guided through it step by step. And on top of all of this content, there are 2 calls per month. So group calls where you can hop on, ask your questions, get that support. Just the other day I was on the call and everyone was just saying how grateful they were just to have that sense of community and not feel like you're so alone doing it all by yourself, because we all spend our time at our bench in our own little world doing everything ourselves, and it can feel super lonely and really overwhelming trying to do it all by yourself. But when you speak to others and you're like, oh my goodness, I feel totally the same, and offering that support from each other, because even in the group calls, people will be at different stages in their business. Some will be just starting, some will be making for 12 years, but just be starting to take a new direction with their jewelry. So having that perspective and that sense of community is really, really helpful. And from me personally, courses that I've taken in the past where I have had those group calls, it's been so helpful. Even if I don't have questions of my own, just to listen to other people's questions and be like, oh yeah, actually that's a really good point. 1, I hadn't thought of that, or 2, having an answer myself, be like, oh yeah, I actually would know how to do that now. Thinking back, like one of the courses that I took a little while ago on social media, in the beginning, every single question everybody asked, I was like, oh yeah, really good question. I don't know the answer to that. By the end, I was answering the questions in my head, everybody's questions. I was like, yeah. I'd already worked through all of that. And I've just realized how much I'd learned just by being in those group calls. But it's really not feeling alone and knowing that you have someone to ask those questions to when you get stuck on certain things. Even if it's like little questions about, is this order safe? Is this the right idea for this? Or what about this? And what do you think of these photos? What do you think about everything? So just having that support is really valuable. If you're watching this today, then that means you've got 24 hours left of the Black Friday sale. So click the link below to enroll today into the course and get access to a really big discount. And I really look forward to welcoming you inside and supporting you and helping you build that business of your dreams. You can totally do it. I believe in you. Together we can make this work.